These are the decrees of Amos, which he made so that justice should prevail in the land of his people. That wickedness and wrongdoing should be destroyed and the strong prevented from oppressing the weak. Amos said, "In the days that are yet to come and for all future, let these decrees remain as a memorial. When they are used in judgment, let the judges have wisdom and give attention to the words that are written. Let every judge seek to root out the wicked and evildoers from the land and promote the welfare of the people. If he seek truth and justice among these words, when they are before him, let him remember that no written words can serve him fully. Truth and justice are but dimly reflected in the writings and laws of men and must be made clearer by the light of righteousness within his own heart. The seats of judgment are to be raised above all small thoughts and unworthy aims. If petty-minded men are permitted to argue over the form of sentences or pick out particular words for attention, then there will be no end to pettiness. Let no deduction or interpretation be made from the decrees, which alters them. Judge every man with the scales weighed in his favor. Do not be hasty in rendering a decision, time will make it more just. Be patient and calm in speech, whatever the provocation. The impatient and bad-tempered judge is an unworthy judge who sits astride an untamed horse. The words of a judge must be shaped to fit the ears of his listeners. They must be spoken at the right time and in the right manner. His speech should not be too long or too short, and every word should be well chosen.
I, Thoth the Atlantean, give of my wisdom, give of my knowledge, give of my power. Freely I give to the children of men. Give that they too might have wisdom to shine through the world from the veil of the night. Wisdom is power, and power is wisdom, one with each other, perfecting the whole. Be thou not proud, O man, in thy wisdom. Discourse with the ignorant as well as the wise. If one comes to thee full of knowledge, listen and heed, for wisdom is all. Keep thou not silent when evil is spoken, for truth like the sunlight shines above all. He who oversteppeth the law shall be punished, for only through law comes the freedom of men. Follow thine heart during thy lifetime. Do thou more than is commanded of thee. When thou hast gained riches, follow thou thine heart, for all these are of no avail if thine heart be weary. Diminish thou not the time of following thine heart. It is abhorred of the soul. They that are guided go not astray, but they that are lost cannot find a straight path. If thou go among men, make for thyself love, the beginning and end of the heart. If one cometh unto thee for counsel, let him speak freely, that the thing for which he hath come to thee may be done. If he hesitates to open his heart to thee, it is because thou, the judge, doeth the wrong. Repeat thou not extravagant speech, neither listen thou to it, for it is the utterance of one not in equilibrium. Speak thou not of it, so that he before thee may know wisdom. Silence is of great profit. An abundance of speech profiteth nothing. Exalt not thine heart above the children of men, lest it be brought lower than the dust. If thou be great among men, be honored for knowledge and gentleness. If thou seekest to know the nature of a friend, ask not his companion, but pass a time alone with him. Debate with him, testing his heart by his words and his bearing. That which goeth into the storehouse must come forth, and the things that are thine must be shared with a friend. Knowledge is regarded by the fool as ignorance, and the things that are profitable are to him hurtful. He liveth in death. It is therefore his food. The wise man lets his heart overflow, but keeps silent his mouth. O man, list to the voice of wisdom, list to the voice of light.
Light on the path. These rules are written for all disciples. Attend you to them. Before the eyes can see, they must be incapable of tears. Before the ear can hear, it must have lost its sensitiveness. Before the voice can speak in the presence of the masters, it must have lost the power to wound. Before the soul can stand in the presence of the masters, its feet must be washed in the blood of the heart. 1. Kill out ambition. 2. Kill out desire of life. 3. Kill out desire of comfort. 4. Work as those work who are ambitious. Respect life as those do who desire it. Be happy as those are who live for happiness. Seek in the heart the source of evil and expunge it. It lives fruitfully in the heart of the devoted disciple as well as in the heart of the man of desire. Only the strong can kill it out. The weak must wait for its growth, its fruition, its death. And it is a plant that lives and increases throughout the ages. It flowers when the man has accumulated unto himself innumerable existences. He who will enter upon the path of power must tear this thing out of his heart. And then the heart will bleed, and the whole life of the man seem to be utterly dissolved. This ordeal must be endured. It may come at the first step of the perilous ladder which leads to the path of life, it may not come until the last. But, O disciple, remember that it has to be endured, and fasten the energies of your soul upon the task. Live neither in the present nor the future, but in the eternal. This giant weed cannot flower there, this blot upon existence is wiped out by the very atmosphere of eternal thought. 5. Kill out all sense of separateness. 6. Kill out desire for sensation. 7. Kill out the hunger for growth. 8. Yet stand alone and isolated, because nothing that is embodied, nothing that is conscious of separation, nothing that is out of the eternal, can aid you. Learn from sensation and observe it, because only so can you commence the science of self-knowledge, and plant your foot on the first step of the ladder. Grow as the flower grows, unconsciously, but eagerly anxious to open its soul to the air. So must you press forward to open your soul to the eternal. But it must be the eternal that draws forth your strength and beauty, not desire of growth. For in the one case you develop in the luxuriance of purity, in the other you harden by the forcible passion for personal stature. 9. Desire only that which is within you. 10. Desire only that which is beyond you. 11. Desire only that which is unattainable. 12. For within you is the light of the world, the only light that can be shed upon the path. If you are unable to perceive it within you, it is useless to look for it elsewhere. It is beyond you. Because when you reach it you have lost yourself. It is unattainable, because it forever recedes. You will enter the light, but you will never touch the flame.
Power rests on the kind of knowledge that one holds. What is the sense of knowing things that are useless? They will not prepare us for our unavoidable encounter with the unknown. Nothing in this world is a gift. Whatever has to be learned must be learned the hard way. A man goes to knowledge as he goes to war, wide awake, with fear, with respect, and with absolute assurance. Going to knowledge or going to war in any other manner is a mistake, and whoever makes it might never live to regret it. When a man has fulfilled all four of these requisites, to be wide awake, to have fear, respect, and absolute assurance, there are no mistakes for which he will have to account. Under such conditions, his actions lose the blundering quality of the acts of a fool. If such a man fails or suffers a defeat, he will have lost only a battle, and there will be no pitiful regrets over that. Dwelling upon the self too much produces a terrible fatigue. A man in that position is deaf and blind to everything else. The fatigue itself makes him cease to see the marvels all around him. Every time a man sets himself to learn, he has to labor as hard as anyone can, and the limits of his learning are determined by his own nature. Therefore, there is no point in talking about knowledge. Fear of knowledge is natural. All of us experience it, and there is nothing we can do about it. But no matter how frightening learning is, it is more terrible to think of a man without knowledge. To be angry at people means that one considers their acts to be important. It is imperative to cease to feel that way. The acts of men cannot be important enough to offset our only viable alternative. our unchangeable encounter with infinity. Anything is one of a million paths. Therefore, a warrior must always keep in mind that a path is only a path. If he feels that he should not follow it, he must not stay with it under any conditions. His decision to keep on that path or to leave it must be free of fear or ambition. He must look at every path closely and deliberately. There is a question that a warrior has to ask mandatorily. Does this path have a heart? All paths are the same. They lead nowhere. However, a path without a heart is never enjoyable. On the other hand, a path with heart is easy. It does not make a warrior work at liking it. It makes for a joyful journey. As long as a man follows it, he is one with it. There is a world of happiness where there is no difference between things, because there is no one there to ask about the difference. But that is not the world of men. Some men have the vanity to believe that they live in two worlds, but that is only their vanity. There is but one single world for us. We are men and must follow the world of men contentedly. A man has four natural enemies: fear, clarity, power, and old age. Fear, clarity, and power can be overcome, but not old age. Its effect can be postponed, but it can never be overcome.
Abangoma abafihliweyo bathi, ukukhanya kwangempela kufihlwe emva kwamatshe amakhulu, futhi buhlangabezwa ngemigodi yengqondo. Zila. The hidden ones say, true light lies hidden behind giant rocks, and its only approach is through the caverns of the mind. Sila. Abangoma abafihliweyo bathi, mbathisa lokhu okubizwa ngokuthi izwi labantu ngengubo yolwazi. Funda-ke ukuthi noma iy'thunzela zakho ziningana, ubuwena bunye. Funda-ke ukuthi awunabafu, awunasitha, awunagobela kulo mhlaba, futhi wazi ukuthi lesi sibuko senzelwe ukukulekelela ekuhloleni imvelo yakho. Zila. The hidden ones say, cover the mirror named the world of man with the veil of knowledge and look upon yourself. Thus learn that though your shadows are legion, your true self is but one. Thus learn that you have neither brother, nor foe, nor teacher in all the world, and know that the mirror exists only to help you to read your own nature. Sila. Buka ngokuqiniseka isibuko salolu olubizwa ngezwe labantu. Ubone izithombe eziningana, zonke yizithunzi ezimayelana nemvelo yakho. Funda-ke ukuthi ukulangaza ney'nhlungu nokudabukelwa yithunzela ezihlasela ubumi bakho. Nalokhu okuthiwa kuhle ezweni labantu, nakho kuyisithunzi cha. Zila. The hidden ones say, look earnestly into that mirror which is named the world of man, and see there countless images, each a shadow of a part of your nature. Thus learn that want and pain and grief are all shadows of beings that wage war within your nature. And that the thing which the world of man calls good is likewise but a shadow. Sila. Abangoma abafihliweyo bathi, Uqobo lwakho lumbozwe imifanekiso eminingi futhi alubonwa ingahlanzekanga. Ubuhlakani bangempela abunayithunzela futhi butholakala emanzini akhanyilanga uma usundlule wonke amachweba. Zila. The hidden ones say, true self is masked by countless reflections and cannot be sighted until they are washed away. True wisdom has no shadows and is found in sunlit waters when all the other pots are past. Seal.
Of our incredible possibilities. Don Juan claimed that what limits human perception is timidity. To be able to manage the world which surrounds us, we have had to give up our perceptual gift, that is, the possibility of witnessing everything. We sacrifice the flight of awareness in exchange for the security of the known. We can live strong, audacious, healthy lives. We can be impeccable warriors, but we don't dare. Our heritage is a stable house where we can live, but we have transformed it into a fort for the defense of the self, or rather, into a jail, where we condemn our energy to weaken in lifelong imprisonment. Our best years, feelings, and senses are wasted in forever repairing and bolstering that house, because we have wound up identifying ourselves with it. In the process of becoming a social being, a growing child acquires a false conviction of his own importance, and what was a healthy feeling of self-preservation in the beginning ends up transformed into a selfish clamor for attention. Of all the gifts we have received, self-importance is the cruelest. It converts a magical, vivid creature into a poor, arrogant, graceless devil. Pointing at his feet, he said that feeling important forces us to do absurd things. Look at me. Once I bought a pair of very fine shoes, which weighed almost a kilo each. I wasted $500 for the privilege of dragging these big shoes around. Because of our self-importance, we are stuffed to the point of bitterness, envy, and frustration. We allow ourselves to be guided by feelings of complacency, and we escape from the task of knowing ourselves with pretexts like I can't be bothered or how tiring. Behind all that, there is an anxiety which we try to silence with an internal dialogue increasingly more and less natural. He took the opportunity to tell us several stories illustrating the way self-importance deforms human beings, transforming them into rigid shells. Confronted with them, a warrior doesn't know whether to laugh or to cry. After many years of studying with Juan, I became so frightened of his practices that I went away for a while. I could not accept what he and my benefactor were doing to me. It seemed inhuman, unnecessary. I yearned for sweeter treatment. I took the opportunity to visit various spiritual teachers from all over the world, hoping to find some knowledge in their doctrines that would justify my desertion. Once, I met a Californian guru who considered himself the real McCoy. He accepted me as his pupil, and gave me the task of begging for charitable alms in a public square. Thinking that this was a new experience for me, and probably would teach me an important lesson, I mustered my courage and did what he requested. When I returned to him, I said, "Now you do it." He became angry with me and expelled me from the class. On another trip, I went to see a well-known Hindu teacher. I went to his house early in the morning, and stood in line with others. However, this gentleman kept us waiting for hours. When he appeared at the top of a stairway, he had a condescending air, as if granting us a great favor by admitting us. He began to descend the steps in a very dignified manner, but his feet got entangled in his ample tunic, and he fell to the floor and cracked his head. He died there, right in front of us. On another occasion, that the demon of self-importance does not only affect those who believe themselves to be masters. It is a general problem. One of the strongest ramparts of self-importance is the concern with one's personal appearance.
Wisdom is a state of poise and balance. Only from an immovably poised and balanced viewpoint can true wisdom be exercised. Its exercise implies a condition in the individual of complete non-attachment to anything whatsoever. If attachment to, or attraction towards anything exists, then the man will favor the thing, and will therefore exhibit repulsion from, and separation from other things. He will fail to hold that even balance between all things, without which wisdom cannot be exercised. True wisdom means a condition of absolute non-attachment to everything in life, and this means equally absolute attachment to life in an indivisible whole. The pursuit of, or practice of any other secret art or science precludes the exercise of wisdom, because it entails attachment to one particular aspect of life, and therefore separation from others. The would-be neophyte must have understanding of what I have said before he becomes ready to move a step on the path of true occultism. To every man who sets himself to seek for truth, two paths will appear. The first lies outside himself, stretching towards the center of the boundless universe, on the edge of which he appears to stand, an insignificant atom. The second, beginning where the first begins, runs inward towards the unknown center of the man's own being. Ignorant man who founds all his judgments on appearances invariably turns towards the first. He sees that he is helpless and ignorant, and thinks therefore that whatever truth there may be must be found outside himself. He begins accordingly by worshipping and adoring whatever being or beings he may find who appear to possess wisdom, thus hoping to gain their favor, and to share in that which they possess. His belief sets him running, now to this person, now to that, who may claim to be nearest the source of truth, begging a few crumbs from the other's store. But he gains nothing by his efforts, as any student of life can see for himself. The outer path is the path humanity in general has followed throughout the ages. That it does not lead to the divine can be clearly seen by comparing the state of a Stone Age savage with that of civilized man. In material and intellectual achievements there is an immense gulf between them, but spiritually, if there is any gulf at all, it is not wide. Remove the laws and customs civilized man has established to further his material interests, and will he show himself to be more imbued with the spirit of universal brotherhood than the savage? Let common history, which is the history of war, conquest and exploitation of the weak, give answer. The outer path does not lead to the divine. It does not indeed lead anywhere. We can see on all hands that those who have followed it long enough find it fading out and leaving them in a void of unbelief in anything divine. Yet those who have reached that state of unbelief are nearer the divine than those still traveling outward in pursuit of it. This I will make more clear before I conclude. Turn now and look at the inner way, the way that leads from man's outer, worldly self, back into the deeps of his being.
14. Desire peace fervently. 15. Desire possessions above all. 16. But those possessions must belong to the pure soul only, and be possessed therefore by all pure souls equally, and thus be the especial property of the whole only when united. Hunger for such possessions as can be held by the pure soul, that you may accumulate wealth for that united spirit of life, which is your only true self. The peace you shall desire is that sacred peace which nothing can disturb, and in which the soul grows as does the holy flower upon the still lagoons. And that power which the disciple shall covet is that which shall make him appear as nothing in the eyes of men. 17. Seek out the way. 18. Seek the way by retreating within. 19. Seek the way by advancing boldly without. 20. Seek it not by any one road. To each temperament there is one road which seems the most desirable. But the way is not found by devotion alone, by religious contemplation alone, by ardent progress, by self-sacrificing labor, by studious observation of life. None alone can take the disciple more than one step onward. All steps are necessary to make up the ladder. The vices of men become steps in the ladder, one by one, as they are surmounted. The virtues of man are steps indeed, necessary, not by any means to be dispensed with. Yet, though they create a fair atmosphere and a happy future, they are useless if they stand alone. The whole nature of man must be used wisely by the one who desires to enter the way. Each man is to himself absolutely the way, the truth, and the life. But he is only so when he grasps his whole individuality firmly, and, by the force of his awakened spiritual will, recognizes this individuality as not himself, but that thing which he has with pain created for his own use, and by means of which he purposes, as his growth slowly develops his intelligence, to reach to the life beyond individuality. When he knows that for this his wonderful complex separated life exists, then, indeed, and then only, he is upon the way. Seek it by plunging into the mysterious and glorious depths of your own inmost being. Seek it by testing all experience, by utilizing the senses in order to understand the growth and meaning of individuality, and the beauty and obscurity of those other divine fragments which are struggling side by side with you, and form the race to which you belong. Seek it by study of the laws of being, the laws of nature, the laws of the supernatural, and seek it by making the profound obeisance of the soul to the dim star that burns within. Steadily, as you watch and worship, its light will grow stronger. Then you may know you have found the beginning of the way. And when you have found the end, its light will suddenly become the infinite light. 21. Look for the flower to bloom in the silence that follows the storm, not till then. It shall grow, it will shoot up, it will make branches and leaves and form buds, while the storm continues, while the battle lasts. But not till the whole personality of the man is dissolved and melted, not until it is held by the divine fragment which has created it. As a mere subject for grave experiment and experience, not until the whole nature has yielded and become subject unto its higher self, can the bloom open. Then will come a calm such as comes in a tropical country after the heavy rain, when nature works so swiftly that one may see her action. Such a calm will come to the harassed spirit. And in the deep silence the mysterious event will occur which will prove that the way has been found. Call it by what name you will, it is a voice that speaks where there is none to speak, it is a messenger that comes, a messenger without form or substance, or it is the flower of the soul that has opened. It cannot be described by any metaphor. But it can be felt after, looked for, and desired, even amid the raging of the storm. The silence may last a moment of time or it may last 1,000 years. But it will end. Yet you will carry its strength with you. Again and again the battle must be fought and won. It is only for an interval that nature can be still. These written above are the first of the rules which are written on the walls of the Hall of Learning. Those that ask shall have. Those that desire to read shall read. Those who desire to learn shall learn. Peace be with you.